Hey everyone, Blake from Brooklyn, football with the fellas, all about Big Blue. Here to talk a little bit more about what I think we should do in this offseason. And right now, I'm going to focus on our defensive backs. We have a lot of holes to fill in this team, but I think defensive back is a particularly significant one. We need a few of those. We need at least one cornerback and at least one safety. Uh, and of course, we need other things too, but today I want to talk about that. So let's take a look at why I think we need some help in the defensive backfield. So, and then I'm going to add a few thoughts on who I think that help should be. So, first of all, we play too soft in coverage and we're too bad in tackling. Look up here at the cushion that Banks gives up and then the delay in making the tackle. If you're going to be this far off the ball, and I don't know why we're this far off the ball in the first quarter of a game we're leading, then at the very least, once he breaks down and makes this catch, here's the ball, he's about to make the catch, come up and make the tackle, right? Just come up and make the tackle. But no, you break down and let him dictate what should happen. And then, of course, he jukes Okereke, makes him miss, and then he picks up the first down. Can't do it. Can't have that big a cushion and be bad in coverage. Here's Dane Belton, too late with his help over the top as Tay Banks gets burned for a touchdown, and Dane Belton was the safety help over the top and got there too late. Here is Tay Banks giving up the sideline on a Justin Herbert scramble. This is Justin Herbert, right? This isn't Lamar Jackson. This isn't, even Kyler Murray, right? This is just ridiculous that you would not go outside. I mean, this is something I taught my 10 and 12-year-olds when I was a little league football coach. Don't give up the sideline. What does he do? He gives up the sideline and, in effect, allows this guy to block three of us and have Justin Herbert run for another 10, 12 yards to pick up the first down. Here's that same play from a different angle. And you'll see that, okay, so we rush four. Herbert sees that nobody's open right away and that he's got plenty of room to run. Fine. Right here, if you had just jumped outside, Herbert slides. I'm pretty sure Herbert slides at like the 32, 33-yard line, 35 tops. But because you jumped inside, which you do all the time, Banks, you effectively let this man block all three of you because Dane Belton, I don't understand why, but instead of going to the sideline himself, instead of him coming out to the sideline, he tried to go underneath also. And here's Tyler Nubin trying to come across and provide the support. But in effect, this guy blocks all three of you. Why? Because Tay Banks gave up the sideline. Tay Banks does his job. This is a short gain and not a first down. But instead, there's 5, 10, 15 more yards and a first down. Tyler Nubin takes a bad angle, gives up a long touchdown run. Gee, how many times have I said that? Here comes Tyler Nubin, bad angle, no speed, just outrun down the sideline, bye. And again, he runs, 4.65, whatever. That's not his fault, I guess. But then you can't be this late coming downhill, right? This man took the handoff at the 40. So I don't know where you were, but you have to get here faster than that because he's now at hour 45 and you can't catch him. This is already a touchdown. But if he took the ball at his 40 and now got to hour 45, you should be there by now, right? But you're not. Nubin whiffs, Banks gets trucked. I don't know. Watch Nubin whiff and watch Banks get trucked. I mean, this is just embarrassing. You're going to come up and try to make this tackle and just whiff. That was a terrible attempt at a tackle, and you're going to break down and have him just say, get off me. Leave me alone. Get off me. Fortunately, other people came along to help you, but that was embarrassing. This is perhaps the most embarrassing play of the season. 18 yards after contact. Watch the contact right here at the 14. Paulson Debo, good run support, did what he's supposed to do. Thibodeau comes over, doesn't do what he's supposed to do. Javon Holland comes over, doesn't do what he's supposed to do. You're still holding on, at least you were till then. And then finally, Darius Musa at the 32, 18 yards after contact, brings him down. Here's that same play from another angle. Do we not have a weight room? Have we no muscles in the back end? Here, perfect position. Okay, so I'm not saying you should have knocked him backwards. And then Kayvon comes over and instead of wrapping up, tries to deliver a big hit. That doesn't help. Javon Holland tries to rip the ball out, I guess. That doesn't help. Finally, you fall off of Debo, and then Moore's comes and makes a tackle. Terrible. That is terrible. Okay, 2nd and 7, 2nd and 8. Play action pass. They fake the handoff to Christian McCaffrey, and our inside linebackers just turn and sprint. And instead of backpedaling and keeping an eye on Christian McCaffrey, they just turn and run. Watch them now turn and run. And way past the 6. This is the first down marker. Why are you running back to the 40 when the 47 is the first down marker? And then you just let him catch this ball and get a first down. He's like, thanks. If you're going to give me a free first down, I'll take it. But again, yeah, it was a play action pass. And honestly, to me, it's a bad play by the quarterback because this man is wide open. I think you should have been ripping this ball right now. He catches this ball, he might score. But you didn't for whatever reason. Thank you. But you guys are running like you were going to catch him. You're not. I don't need you to sprint all the way back to the 40 at this point. You're at the 45 already. I don't need you to sprint all the way back to the 40 when the first down mark is the 47 and leave Christian McCaffrey wide open. This guy's wide open too, by the way. But Christian McCaffrey is wider opener. And so they threw it to him. And you guys are finally breaking down at the 40, 12 yards past where McCaffrey is and 7 yards past where the first down is. So, no. Wasn't Tyler Newman supposed to be a ball hawk when he came out of Minnesota? Isn't that why we drafted him when we had let Xavier McKinney walk for free? Watch this ball hawk. Just what were you looking at? It doesn't look like you were looking at the receiver or the ball. Like I'm not really sure what you were looking at, but here you are in pretty good position to break up this pass if you see it coming. And I don't know why you don't see it coming. I don't know why you're running that way when he's clearly rounding off and breaking it inside. So if you had come this way instead of that way, you could very well have broken up this pass. In fact, it's probably not a great read to make this throw, except he knows that you're Tyler Newman and not really a ball hawk. And so you just go sliding past him and let him make the catch. I don't understand. So you're not good in coverage. I guess you're good in run support, right? Because, what do you do well? You're a safety who doesn't cover well. And now here's Christian McCaffrey in a toss sweep. You're staying back way too long, and he runs right past you. I mean, thankfully, Dane Belton was there to make the tackle because, what exactly did you do? Again, he's at hour 36 in the backfield, and here you are at hour 17. How is it possible? Now, first of all, toss sweep, obvious, like linemen are downfield, not going to be a pass. You're still backpedaling, drifting over instead of crashing up to make the stop. You're still drifting to the right slowly, still backpedaling. Christian McCaffrey's picking up yardage and steam, still backpedaling. And now you finally come upfield, but slowly. And to your credit, you take away the sideline, but aren't in any position to make the tackle. Right? By the time you react to try to make the tackle, he's past you. Again, fortunately, Dane Belton was there, or he would have scored. Terrible. This play drives me crazy. They're at our 5-yard line. Our 5-yard line. Like they could just run the ball in. Why do we only have 2 defensive linemen from the 5? Like I would have just done dive left 2 and just run right through this gap. But we have 2 defensive linemen, 6 defensive backs, and 3 linebackers on this play. Now, that's ridiculous. But if you're going to do that, if you're going to put 6 defensive backs on the field, play them in zone. Play them so they can take away the pass because they're not big enough to stop the run. So at least take away the pass. But instead, you have them in man, and you have Bobby Okereke covering Christian McCaffrey. 6 defensive backs. One of them couldn't have covered him or at least been in the zone. No. So what happens? They motion the tight end over. And now they've got 3 receivers who will come and set a pick on Bobby Okereke, who has no business covering Christian McCaffrey anyway. But now he can't even get out to cover him because they come and set a pick on him. and McCaffrey is wide open. Like literally, I could have made that throw or catch. I could have been on either end of that play, as could any of you, because there's no giant in the vicinity. Let's watch that same play from another angle. So again, why do we only have two defensive linemen on the 5 yard line? I don't know. Worse than that, one of them, Roy Robertson Harris, drops back into coverage. Really? Six DBs wasn't enough? You had to drop back the only other 300-pounder we have on the field into coverage? Seriously? Who is he covering? Like, who could Roy Robertson Harris cover? But there he is, dropping back into coverage, like playing zone. You know who he didn't cover? Christian McCaffrey. He's got good company there. Nobody covered him. But again, here's Bobby Okereke, clearly not as good in coverage as these six defensive backs that we have. One, two, three, four, five, six. And clearly not able to get over to cover him because they don't even make any bones about it. They just come and set a pick on him. But they use Tay Banks to help set the pick. So Tay Banks runs into him. But wouldn't it have made sense for Banks or Corey Black or one of these guys to just stay out there and zone and cover him themselves? Okay, no, that's not what we did. And then, of course, later on, we see Tay Banks just get trucked for another touchdown. In Tay Banks' defense, he has made very clear, I don't like to tackle. I'm not a physical football player. So why do you keep asking me to tackle people? And here he is, not tackling, getting trucked. And then he bumps into someone and says, oh, someone's behind me. I got to fall down. Please. Terrible. Different game, same outcome. Tyler Newman, bad angle, no speed. Someone takes it for a long touchdown. This time, former Giant Saquon Barkley says, are you serious? You're going to stay way back there and then let me cut to the left and then you're going to try and chase me? Really? Because that's not going to end well for you. I mean, he is just opening up on you, and I'll just, spoiler alert, touchdown. But again, right here was your chance to move up and make a tackle, or at least get outside and force him back inside. But no, you are doing this little, breakdown and then realize, oh, wait, he's faster than me. Bye. I can't. I can't. Why do teams ever throw the ball when it's this easy to run against us? So here's Brian Burns, who's having a great season and is a great player, but he didn't do very well setting the edge this time. And then, of course, he probably thought he had help setting the edge from Tay Banks, but why would he think that? Because Tay Banks doesn't make tackles. And get off me. Get off me. That's not even Saquon, by the way. That's another running back who ran for another 100 yards. Whatever. Well, why do teams ever throw? Because we played this far off the ball. We're 10 yards off the ball, and we're just going to let Devontae Smith run a little dig and be wide open. Really? I mean, again, this is Devontae Smith. This isn't some rookie undrafted free agent you ever heard of. Devontae Smith, Blitnikoff and Heisman Trophy winner, very, very good receiver. You're going to give him this much cushion, and and nobody in the middle, like no robber in the middle. So he's just going to say thank you. I mean, I'm not sure if that was your zone, but you are on your hands and knees. I guess you slipped, but you're also 10 yards further downfield. So even if you hadn't slipped, I don't think you would have got there to help. Now, this play got wiped out because Abdul Carter got held, but the coverage, ridiculous. This play, you might say, didn't matter because Belton wasn't involved in it, but what is he doing? So he's at the 15 now, right? When the play started at the 22. He's at the 22. They snap the ball, he starts backpedaling. Okay, I guess that makes sense. You do have two receivers going fairly deep. He's not even looking that way, though. So he's really only paying attention to this side of the field. And that receiver breaks it off, right? Breaks it out. So right now, there's nobody on this half of the field past the 25. Why are you at the 16? So you're already 10 yards too deep. What do you think he does next? Does he come up to try and double up on this receiver? Does he look to his right and see if he needs any help there? No, he continues to backpedal. He's still backpedaling. He's still backpedaling. Now he's at the 10. Why do I need you at the 10? There is no receiver in your half of the field past the 25. Look at all this space that you are not doing anything about. Wouldn't it be nice to maybe be close enough to help on this receiver or this receiver or this receiver, or maybe look to your right and help? But covering the 10-yard line, I mean, a 10-yard line is locked up. If Jalen wanted to throw the ball at 10, there's no way he's getting it there. Seriously? I mean, that's terrible. And of course, Jalen Hurts just pulls the ball down and runs and says, okay, well, nobody near me. I'll just take a few yards and step out of bounds. But again, why are you at the 10? Who are you covering at the 10? Banks up the sideline, Belton and Sule getting over, touchdown, Bo Nix. And this was a backbreaker in a game that we had no business losing, that almost 1,700 teams had won with this. Oh, whatever. There's Tay Banks letting this offensive tackle force him back inside. I mean, I'm not sure why Tay Banks broke down here. There's nobody here yet, and you've got help coming. What you need to do is set the edge. But no, you let this 320-pound tackle get outside of you. You still could have just run to the sideline, really, and just made him cut up field, but you didn't. You stopped, planted, and jumped inside, which is exactly what they wanted you to do, which is exactly not helpful, and gave up the sideline. And of course, Dane Belton, who, let's look at Dane Belton here, gets blocked by this man, the right tackle. The right tackle beats you over here. That's embarrassing. Right? Clearly, this is a run. Like there was no question what the play was. So why is it taking you so long to get there? Dane Belton should be here already. But instead, he's here and about to get washed, thrown out the club by a lineman. Terrible. Okay, same game. We finally regained the lead, and there's 33 seconds left. And this is similar to the Cowboys game. When we took the lead with 25 seconds left, and we went to a prevent defense and gave up 40 or 50 yards, and they kicked the field goal, sent it over there. We're not going to do that again, right? Right? We are going to do that again. And we just let them throw a long pass down the middle of the field. And I want you to watch, this is the same play from different angle. I want you to watch Tyler Nubin as he plants his feet. That's not Tyler. That's not Tyler. That's not Tyler. That's not Tyler. That's Tyler. Standing still, planted feet, watches the receiver run right past him. This guy's jogging now. He's not even running as fast as, and guess who catches the ball? Yep, him. Right behind where Tyler Nubin was. But again, Tyler Nubin said, no, I know what I should be doing. I should be standing still while receivers come running right past me. What are you doing? Who are you covering? All the receivers are behind you now. Why do I need you standing at the 40-yard line doing nothing while people are running behind you open? Oh, and by the way, Bo Braid, who I don't blame because he probably hadn't ever expected to be on the field, but because of injury he was, is at our 40. So we've got somebody at their 40 and somebody at our 40, but that 20 yards in between, not so much. Why do I need you at the 40? There's no receiver past midfield. Why do I need you at the 40 at all? Like, what are you doing? Okay, what are my takeaways? First and foremost, our defensive backs, for the most part, are terrible at tackling. They're really bad tacklers, both in run support and downfield, but bad tacklers. Most of them are not very good in coverage either. Most of them. Banks, Newman, and Belton in particular are just bad football players, period. We just need to move on from them. Bowen was a terrible defensive coordinator. He didn't put us in position to succeed. This whole prevent defense thing and the two inside linebackers that are close enough to high five and all kinds of things. Two defensive linemen, when we're second and third and one or on our 5-yard line defending the goal line. Terrible decisions by Bowen, but he's gone now. That said, players still have to make plays, and our back end players just don't make enough plays. So the upshot is we need new defensive backs. We need at least a cornerback and a safety. I would love for us to look at Kansas City Chiefs cornerback Jalen Watson, who's going to be a free agent. I don't know if we can afford him because Joe Shane has not left us with much cap space. Plus, I don't know if he wants to come play for the Giants. But if he's willing to leave the Kansas City Chiefs and we find a way to free up enough money, that's somebody I go after. And in the draft, you've heard me talk before about LSU cornerback Mansour Delane. He is a stud. I would take him in the top 5 if we can't trade down, although trading down, I think, is the best idea. I think we trade down, and then I think we hope that he's still on the board after our trade down. Best case scenario, that's what happens. If not, hopefully Ohio State safety Caleb Downs is still on the board. Also a stud and clearly would replace Tyler Nubin, and we need to do that. So if we trade down and Delane is gone, I would take Downs as a consolation prize happily. So, but that's what I think. What do you think? As always, use this to find us for future episodes. And speaking of future episodes, we have a surprise special guest coming to join us this week. Later on this week, we're going to be joined by another Giants content provider. I'm not going to tell you who it is yet. I want to build some tension, some excitement. Let's see if you can figure out who it is. But in any event, stay tuned. You'll see in a few days that we're going to be joined by another Giants content provider. Until then, please grab the like button, share, subscribe, drop comments. Clay from Brooklyn, Football with the Fellas. It's all about Big Blue, and I'm out.
Big shout out to El Marquis Productions, the talent behind the music and production here at Football with the Fellas. It's all about Big Blue. Their beats bring energy and excitement to every episode. El Marquis' skills in mixing, mastering, and creating top quality sound make the podcast come alive each week. For your own projects, check out elmarquisproductions.com and take your sound to the next level.